And that just might have a little effect. I mean, you never know, those first opening minutes, they might be just still sitting in those change rooms thinking, why are they in our change room today?
Tony, I don't think Leinster will ever have played at the RDS in an atmosphere quite like this, with such a big travelling away support.
No, probably not, Stephen, but they have lots of seasoned internationals. They've played in bigger atmospheres with a bigger crowd, but it's the colour of the place that really strikes me, the white and the blue, the contrast. And as you say, we're situated just under the old stand, and it really is rocking. It's almost like being back at Ravenhill.
Bryn, do Ulster need to win today to show that they've made real progress?
I think they do. I mean, first and foremost, it's always by performance. But what I want to see is, and I pick up from Joe Schmidt's interview, is Nick Williams is their go-to player. He's their ball carrier. He offloads and tackle. What Ulster have got to do is they've got to outthink Leinster. They've got to do something different. They've got to show that they've got a few other tricks up their sleeve, and if they can do that, then they might just break down this Leinster defence.
OK, Bryn, Tony, thank you very much indeed. Leinster looking for that first elusive league final success. Ulster searching for their first silverware in 7 years. Enjoy this fabulous occasion in the company of Ryan Constable and Jim Neely.
It is the most perfect day here in Dublin for a lot of the great names of not just Irish provincial rugby, but Northern Hemisphere rugby and world rugby on show here today. John O'Four returns to the front row. The All Black World Cup winners, the only change from the side that started in the semi-final. Robbie Diak begins his 13th game in the last 14. And Johan Muller skippers Ulster for the 50th time. Same backline for Ulster. Off to Australia with the Lions is Tommy Bowe. Jared Payne off to Hong Kong with the Barbarians. Paddy Jackson, Stuart Olding, Darren Cave and Andrew Trimble off to North America with Ireland. Leinster welcome back Cian Healy and Richard Strauss to the front row. Skipper Leo Cullen to the second row. And with Sean O'Brien injured, Kevin McLaughlin returns to the back row. It's an all-international pack. Brian O'Driscoll, the man himself, is back for Leinster. The only change behind the scrum. So Fergus McFadden moves out to the wing. And it's a farewell to Dublin for the retiring Isa Nathewa and Paris-bound Johnny Sexton, another man who, like O'Driscoll and Carney, off with the Lions. Pretty tasty looking replacements bench. Ulster with a little bit more strength, perhaps, 3 internationals to just 2 on the Leinster bench. Referee, the former Munster wing three-quarter, John Lacey, doing his first major final. A man who was pretty pacey when he was running with the ball. And let's hope he's pretty pacey and pretty accurate when he's got the whistle in his hand. There is Rory Best, who I'm sure does not know the news that has come from Twickenham, because I'm reliably informed that Dylan Hartley was red-carded in the English Premiership final for verbally abusing the referee Wayne Barnes. And that could be a very interesting scenario. However, it's the Pro12 final, and Ulster, from the kickoff, has secured possession. Pinar to Olding, Darren Cave. Wee bit of space there, and that space almost automatically filled by the wonderful Ethan Nathewa. Gathered in by Ulster. Jared Payne. Andrew Trimble. Good covering tackle by Leinster. Paddy Jackson. Again the kick, and it bounces into a Leinster hand. Simple errors could cost Ulster. Johnny Sexton. Flat pass to McFadden. Lively start, the noise quite amazing. And Leinster get the opening penalty, and it came from a little Ulster misjudgment.
Yeah, you look at the physical intensity that's going to be brought to bear on this game. Both teams have their own motivations. It's the team that handles that pressure, that channels that nervous energy into a disciplined but brutal performance that'll come out victors today.
Johnny Sexton, who's off to Racing Metro in Paris, is going to be coached there by one Ronan O'Gara, and what a kick from Sexton. And that really has punished Ulster in terms of possession and territory. And it was a little error of judgment, and Ulster have conceded not just possession, but the best part of 75 metres, and have given Leinster the perfect platform.
And Leinster arrive in this match compared to other finals of this nature in much better conditions. Some astute selections last week to keep fresh players available for this game.
Crafty little throw to the front by Richard Strauss. John O'Four comes through, but not offside. Boss, formerly of Ulster, Sexton. Brian O'Driscoll cut down, and Ulster give away another penalty. touch judge on the far side, who's Peter Fitzgibbon, the Munsterman, might just have brought the referee's attention to something.
One side entry.
I'm not sure it was foul play. I think it was side entry from Tom Court, number 1, he said. The noise is extraordinary here. So a good start by Ulster, winning the kick-off, but alas, it's been all Leinster ever since. Here's Strauss. Devon Toner perhaps the target. No, it's Cullen, the Leinster skipper, the only man to have lifted the Heineken 3 times. And is he going to lead Leinster to this competition? And Leinster have got the try after only a couple of minutes. And it's Jennings who's got it. Shane Jennings, one of 15 internationals in this Leinster side, and he gets the opening try, and again it came from an Ulster mistake.
You talk about players keeping their head in this pressure-filled atmosphere. That was clinical at its best. Very good take, avoided the sack, set the structure up, and then just drove over. Exactly the start that Leinster would have wanted. Ignited their crowd, silenced Ulster, and points on the board early.
Well, there's about 4 parts to every single line out. There's the call, there's the throw, there's the lift, and in this case there's the drive. And look at Jennings, knew exactly where he was going, and just spiraled away from the Ulster defence. One-handed, got the ball down, and Leinster delighted to be in the lead after only 3 minutes.
It's a Leinster team that's very comfortable with this rotation policy that's been employed throughout Joe Schmidt's tenure at Leinster, and just showing the fruits of that with a team that's freshly invigorated for this challenge.
Well, it wasn't quite the delightful set-piece move that started off their win against Stade Francais last week in the Hamlin Challenge Cup, but they'll be equally happy with their start here at the RDS once again against Ulster. And this is Sexton with a conversion attempt.
Let's go, boys.
Oh, it's a belter. Well, a week ago against Stade Francais, they were 7-0 up in the opening few minutes, and it's exactly the same here against Ulster.
And Leinster have been in a rich vein of form. Winning becomes a habit, and they're certainly business as usual in the first 5 minutes of this match.
Jackson. Good take by Nafewa. Pound for pound, he's probably the best overseas signing ever to play rugby in Ireland.
Advantage.
And here's another fellow who could lay claim to that as well. Isaac Boss played 108 times for Ulster.
4.
And a penalty against Ulster yet again. That's the 3rd penalty. Now the Ulster skipper is going to be spoken to, I think.
This side. Okay. Back here, please.
Assistant referees feeding a lot of information into the main match referee, and it's Ulster that are infringing on a number of occasions. Leinster allowed to establish field position and go to that line out with the towering height of Devon Toner and the experience of Leo Cullen.
It's all up to Sexton to find his touch, and what another belting touch he's found. And again, Ulster in a decent position, and all of a sudden they find themselves, well, closer to their own try line than they probably would wish. And Joe Schmidt's left John O'Gibbs, who's been very influential as well. What a start for Leinster. 3 penalties Ulster have conceded, and it's cost them, and it may cost them here again.
Release, Doctor! Release, Doctor!
Well, that's another penalty.
I'm giving you an official warning now. 2 tacklers run, bring straight to ground and not releasing the tackler. Sort it out, have a word, please.
That's a 4th penalty against Ulster, and Johan Muller has been told to go and have a word with his team. We were wondering what Ethan Natheba was doing wearing number 15 in his back. As it turns out, Ethan Natheba has started number 15, and Leinster are without Rob Carney, who must have got himself injured in the warm-up, and we didn't notice Andrew Conway coming on. So Andrew Conway is playing on the left wing, wearing number 11. Ethan Natheba is wearing number 15. And
also be acutely aware they'll need to sort out their discipline problems. A 10-point margin could develop very quickly with the kick to come, and if you keep giving up possession and position through those penalties, Leinster are a team that punish you for those mistakes.
This is not the start that Ulster would have wished for, and the Leinster fans will be smiling quietly to themselves, as well they might. He's not going to miss from there, and he hasn't. So 2 out of 2 for Johnny Sexton. The sun just threatening to disappear, but it's all smiles for Leinster. 7.5 minutes gone, and Leinster 10-0 up.
Nothing like points on the board to instill confidence in a team. A Leinster team that are very comfortable at home here at the RDS, and they're bringing that confidence to bear at Ulster in these early exchanges.
Toner, who's already 6'11", soars above everyone to secure that for Leinster. Boss. What a good kick. Taken by Ulster. Gerald Payne. Darren Cave with Olding outside him. Bit of a hitch kick from Stuart Olding, and good strength by the 20-year-old. And you can see just why he's been included in the Irish party to go to North America. Leinster take it quickly, charged down by Paddy Jackson. It's gone loose, Pienaar dives, but it's dotted down. And it's going to be a 5-metre scrum carried over by Leinster. Decent chance now for Ulster, and they need to take every chance.
Yeah, Leinster looking to keep the tempo in the game, but a bit of a speculative option there, under pressure on that kick, and Ulster now have some field position. They haven't been in possession as we see that charge down. Very good pressure coming through from Paddy Jackson, then a race to the line. Isaac Boss doing very well to salvage that for Leinster.
The 2 scrum halves contending for that ball. Boss carried it over. Ulster get the 5-metre scrum. On the near side of the scrum, the Lion to be Cian Healy, expected to be the test loose head for the Lions, and opposite him John Afoa, who missed the semi-final with a little hamstring tweak. Huge noise from the Ulster contingent down right at the other end of this RDS pitch.
Do not touch heads again, okay? Get your space.
The referee has told the opposing front rows not to touch heads.
Yes, I'll pick up.
Ulster just that little bit heavier in the pack by about 3 pounds a man, but it's all about technique. Oh, he's keeping them waiting. Leinster crowd booing because Ulster didn't get the ball in quickly enough. But Ruan Pienaar was not going to put the ball into a scrum that wasn't settled.
Okay, both longer bind.
Irish squad mates for a couple of years and great rivals, Tom Court and Mike Ross on the far side. 10 minutes gone, and Leinster leading by 10 points to 0, completely ambushing a rather careless Ulster.
Touch! Set!
Good low body position, and Leinster get penalised, collapsing the scrum. Now it's a fair old way out from the post. Will Ulster go for this another scrummage option? I wouldn't be surprised.
Scrum.
Yes, they have.
They're looking for more than just the 3 points. Not an easy kick, but well within Ruan Pienaar's range. Looking to profit more from that perceived dominance at scrum time.
Yeah, Mike Ross just slipped his bind there. And Tom Court was trying to drive forward. Ross just slipped the bind, and the referee penalised him. Well, Ulster secured a somewhat controversial penalty try in the first encounter between these two sides in the Pro12 proper at Ravenhill. Good Ulster scrum. Down they go again, Leinster. Pretty legal though this time. Good control by Williams. And again, Ulster get the penalty at the scrum. Now that looked impressive by Ulster, and I'm pretty sure, Ryan, they'll go again.
You look at that body position from John Afoa, getting under his man, down to one knee, strength to get back up, an early test on that hamstring, but Ulster will no doubt go for a scrum. Third reset, one more, and the referee will have to start considering his options.
Well, as we mentioned at the beginning of this game. The word from Twickenham is that Dylan Hartley, the Northampton Saints hooker, has been red carded for a bit of quite serious verbal abuse against Wayne Barnes. And I wonder what sort of sanction that will bring. In it goes. Good squeeze by Ulster. Wonderful body position by Afoa.
Ball's out.
Ball is out, says the referee. Great recovery by Leinster. And listen to the roar of the Leinster fans. Well, that was Ulster's ball for the taking. And Leinster look like a side who want this a little bit more. And it's put into touch by Ian Madigan. So all that Ulster pressure, when it needed to deliver something, hasn't delivered.
Well, they'll be very disappointed because once again they were dominant moving forward in the scrum, and then it looked like the front rows popped up on that side. It got disrupted at the back, and Isaac Boss very quickly onto that, referee adjudicating the ball was free as Nick Williams had disengaged from the back of that scrum. Tight call going against Ulster.
Rory Best selected to captain Ireland for the second time on the North American tour against USA and Canada, 2 tests later this month, but that might all change. Here is Best. Stolen by Leinster.
That's 1-9. That's 1. 7 holes.
Away comes Jennings, the try scorer. Good defence by Ulster, but Leinster have it. There's a chance of an overlap. There's O'Driscoll, Nathewa, to Conway, who's a real speedster. Clever kick by Nathewa. Jared Payne. Pinar. Inside his 22. Well gathered by McFadden and slips into touch. Ulster throw.
Leinster very dangerous in broken field with the likes of Nathewa, Conway very good in that aspect as well. Fergus McFadden don't want to let them get into open spaces. Marshalled very well from Darren Cave defensively, forced a very good kick, and then some creative play by Jared Payne at the back, as we see, just into the sunlight, just unable. Well, could have been a tough call.
Yeah, that was a tough call, because you could well argue that Fergus McFadden slipped the ball infield before he put his feet in touch, but Peter Fitzgibbon said he had put his feet in touch. Better by Ulster. Best to Muller. Pinar for Tommy Bowe to chase.
Stop.
Knocked forward by Ulster, or perhaps back by Leinster. Rory Best trying to effect the choke tackle. Great determination by the Leinster forwards, but Ulster did take it in. It wasn't a ruck, it was a maul situation. And the maul was formed, according to referee John Lacey, and Ulster get the put into the scrum. Nearly 15 minutes gone, still 10-0 to Leinster.
Excellent kick from Ruan Pino, once again allows the players to challenge for that. Ulster getting the decision here. They haven't had any possession in general play. There's been a few set-piece occasions, but it's been Leinster that have dominated. Fairly fractious start, no real flow or rhythm in either team, but Ulster be looking forward to some time in possession now. Bring their wingers in, get their ball carriers moving forward, and try and put this Leinster defence under some sort of pressure.
Well, Ulster's scrum has been pretty good looking so far. In it goes. That's great technique by John Afoa. Bit of a squeeze now by Healy. Better by Leinster. Pinar gets himself caught by Boss, who's trying to just get him toward the touchline. Chris Henry goes in with a tackle. Leinster have disrupted and have made good ground and have not released the man with the ball. Penalty Ulster.
You feel once that platform is stable and Ulster aren't making any progress in the scrum, it needs to be cleared from the back. Leinster very good at disrupting on that occasion, as what was a steady scrum to start with, and without that platform to deliver the ball from the back.
Well, the initial scrum was good by Ulster, and then Leinster got the squeeze on, and the release to Pinar was a bit on the slow side. Ulster have taken the option of going for a touch, haven't made a lot of ground, but at least they've got through the line of the win, very much in favour of Leinster at the moment. Ireland's most capped hooker of all time, Rory Best. Cacophony, he can't hear the instructions.
I'm not going to tell you again, give me the space first.
Referee asking Leinster to observe the 1 metre space that's required between the respective lines. Better ball by Ulster. Williams Gets another Tommy Bowe, gets through inside to Jackson. This is better. Little twinkle-toed run by Paddy Jackson. Stuart Olding to help. Darren Cave sells the dummy, gets it wide. Here's Dyack to score again against Leinster. Can he get it down? He's spiraled round. I'm not sure he's got it down. They'll have to go upstairs. It looked for all the world that Ulster were going to come back with the try. We'll have to wait and see. Well executed, well finished, but was the finish complete?
Well, we spoke about Ulster getting their wingers involved. It's been called, held up, not needing to go upstairs. Tommy Bowe makes the original incision, and then Paddy Jackson runs a wonderful support line on the shoulder, composure to go over. Started from the set piece, excellent take from the line out. Nick Williams drawing defenders. It's Tommy Bowe that makes that incision. Excellent work from Jackson, stays on his feet, delivers the ball, and then Robbie Dyke just going for the pirouette. May have assessed the option of diving low for the corner, but tried to go inside to get that ball down.
Well, if he'd gone low, he would have got there. He decided to maybe just come off the outside foot and step inside, perhaps thinking about the conversion. But the main thing you have to think about is get the ball down, and he certainly didn't get it down well. He was over the line, and had the referee blown the whistle, he did get it down eventually. Was that a try, Ryan?
Well, you would have liked that to have been referred upstairs anyway, to have a look. The ball was grounded. Whether it was grounded timeously is another question, but certainly felt it should have gone upstairs for a decision.
So the last 6 or 7 minutes have been all Ulster. The opening 10 minutes, certainly 7 minutes, when Leinster went 10-0 up, or I was going to say the home side. It is the home ground, of course, of Leinster, but Ulster are the home side. Another big scrum. Tommy Bowe away, way out to the far left-hand side. Good squeeze by Leinster. Disrupts. Williams picks up. That's great work by Leinster at the scrum. Here's Chris Henry. Little shuffle. Leinster man on the way, getting unceremoniously rucked out of it. Pienaar. Rory Best takes on the opposition. Picked up by Williams. Big fellow has a go. Leinster post within touching distance. Pienaar looking both ways, and Ulster give away the penalty. That's the 5th penalty Ulster have given away.
Isaac Boss, very physical as a half-back. He's been a menace at the back of that scrum, and on this occasion he gets in over the ball, and Ulster unable to dislodge him. And once again, it's a penalty that's giving up that crucial field position.
Johnny Sexton, Paris bound, not in any great rush. Finds a very solid touch, and it's going to be a Leinster line-out. Well, this is the last game of the season and the most important game of the season. You'd like to think, Ryan, that Ulster would have kept the error count to a minimum. Alas, they haven't.
It's been the penalties, really, that's robbed them of any chance of continuity. They've shown they're capable of breaking down any defence. Got a little break, unable to finish it off, and they'll need to get some points in this first half.
Toner takes Jennings into Rory Best. Boss quickly, Strice, Boss, Nathewa off to Conway, the speedster. Tom Court just clattered his ankles, but he was in full flight, so nothing wrong with that. Jared Payne gets it away, and it's going to be a Leinster throw, and they've made a lot of ground. Conway is very quick. We still haven't heard what's happened to Rob Carney. He was training and he was warming up, and he left the field looking as if he was going to be coming out wearing 15, and then all of a sudden we noticed that Nasewa was wearing 15, and Andrew Conway, who got a hat-trick in the league game not that long ago, is on the left wing. Coming up to the end of the first quarter of this Rabo Direct All-Ireland Pro12 final. Leinster leading by 10 points to 0. Boss gathered in by Andrew Trimble, who calls for the fair catch. Rory Best is injured.
Johan Muller slow to his feet as well.
Beg your pardon, it was Johan Muller. Sorry about that. Well, that's not a bad kick by Andrew Trimble, but he hasn't found his touch. Conway, the Sexton. It's a tarring up and under. Well taken by Jackson.
Stop one.
And that's a very good kick by Paddy Jackson.
Yeah, excellent kick into a fairly stiff breeze, and he's helped establish some field position again for Ulster. They'll now just try and disrupt this line out. Devon Toner's been the source of much of the possession for Leinster. He's their go-to man, and the game very much being controlled in that Leinster forward pack.
Early try by Shane Jennings, converted by Sexton, who landed a 7th-minute penalty for Leinster. Heaslip, first time we've maybe mentioned him. Here's O'Driscoll. He's been mentioned a time or two down the years. McFadden gets away from a poorish Ulster tackle. Boss in the outside half position. Sexton, McCarthy. Sexton runs a good angle. Still running. Lovely shimmering run by Sexton. Great covering by Robbie Dyack. And Ulster get the penalty.
Excellent work by Andrew Trimble, it looked like. Wonderful covering tackle from Robbie Dyack, and then it was Andrew Trimble who seized that opportunity, got straight over that ball, and the referee had no choice but to award that penalty.
And Pienaar has given it an almighty thump. And Ulster back inside Leinster's 22, and Sexton is down, but I'm delighted to say that he's up again.
Third or fourth visit now to the opposition 22 for Ulster, and they'll be aware they need to get off that 0. Excellent kick to establish this field position, and now need to get some points on the board.
Well, there's that lovely little wraparound. Sexton, sweet as of dummies, just moved the wrist a fraction, but then ran into the man whose statistics have made him the most valuable player in the Pro12 this season, Robbie Dyack. Good take by Muller from best throw. Down to ground, so the ball is not as quick as Ulster would like it. Leinster scrapping for it. Referee is called to Ulster to use it, and Pienaar's trying to get it away. He does get it away to a Foa. Pienaar again. Nick Williams taken on by Sexton and Healy. Penalty against Leinster, not releasing the man in the tackle.
Let's release first, clearly, please.
Straight, just about in front of the Leinster post.
And not the first time the penalty's been awarded for that infringement, and Ulster received a warning for that. Maybe both teams now need to know that a yellow card could be shown soon.
I was happy with that.
Nick Williams. John Afoe having made the initial thrust, and there's a Leinster player going over Cian Healy. Gives away the penalty. Still a bit concerned to see John Afoe getting that fairly hefty right thigh of his strapped. That was the one there had the hamstring problem. He came out, there was no strapping at all, but he's getting a lot of attention from Ulster's physio. Ulster's top point scorer this season, Ruan Pienaar, over 300 in total in the league. This is 43rd league appearance and his 63rd for Ulster. Ulster really do need this one.
Yes, boys.
And they've got it. Thanks to Ruan Pienaar. Ulster will be happier with that, but they must not relax at all, because Leinster will come bouncing straight back. 24 minutes gone. Ulster 3 and Leinster 10.
Very important points for Ulster in terms of their confidence. They're playing into a very stiff wind, which will be at their backs in the second half. They want to ensure they get as close as they can to Leinster at the turn, knowing they've got the ability to establish cheap field position through the agency of that wind in the second half.
Johnny Sexton, with over 1,000 Leinster points to his credit. That's gone straight into touch, and that's going to, Ulster will have the option of receiving the kick-off again, or the option of taking the scrummage in the middle of the park.
Their midfield scrum, perfect attacking platform. They'll look for the scrum to get them the shoulder they require for whichever move it is they've selected. Paddy Jackson communicating with Jared Payne as to exactly what that's going to be.
Well, a very interesting split for the Ulster backs. Jared Payne and Andrew Trimble on the near side.
A fraction closer.
Ricard Strauss, whom we normally see wearing some kind of a head protector in the middle of the Leinster front row. Now Irish qualified through residency, born in Pretoria 27 years ago, twice cap for Ireland last autumn.
Touch!
And you feel if Nick Williams can evade Isaac Boss at the base of that scrum, he may have a role to play in carrying this into what is a big blindside.
I'm going to have a word, okay? Just wait. No, put your head in the space where it's supposed to be, please.
Front row giving John Lacey all sorts of problems. Never encountered that when he was playing on the wing for Munster. Well, come on, you boys in blue, ringing out around the RDS. Bit of a delay in the put, and that's all right. Great scrum by Ulster. Williams does the scrum half bit. Jackson sweeps it away to Olding. Little sidestep by Olding, but the momentum is maintained. Pienaar. Dan Toohey, first time he's had ball in hand. Pienaar again, well taken by Jackson. Rory Best, good angle. Great driving by Rory Best. Leinster man down injured. Pienaar switches nicely to Payne. Flat to Nick Williams. Still going. Needs a bit of help. Pienaar. Payne. Leinster defence well marshalled though. No real room for Ulster to manoeuvre. Williams again. Taken off at the ankles by McLaughlin. Ulster coming in at the side. How silly. Penalty number 6.
Excellent chop tackle by Pep McLaughlin, a feature of his game. Goes in low at the knees, and he certainly found a way to bring Nick Williams down, which his other teammates had struggled with a few tackles before.
I think it's Richard Strauss is down injured following his tackle on Rory Best. Great work by first Stuart Olding and then Dan Toohey. And this is the tackle. Well, he got his head in completely the wrong position. It was to neither side, and he really put the head straight into Rory Best's pelvis. Hope he's all right.
And this is what Ulster will want, is to get their big ball carriers into this game, get them carrying over that advantage line, attracting 2 or 3 defenders, put Leinster through a heavier work rate defensively, but some big hits coming in from Leinster. They're not, they know what's at stake. They're after that elusive double, and they're putting everything into it.
Well, it's a day for sunglasses, though the sun is just about gone. I'm delighted to say that on the park, Richard Strauss is sitting up. I can't see Sean Cronin, the Leinster replacement hooker, at all, but I'm sure he's on standby. If there's any problem with him, they will take him off.
Well, Richard Strauss was out for I don't know how long, but you certainly saw from the impact of that tackle when the head hit the ground, you'd expect something precautionary to be done about that.
And there is Rob Carney. Now, what happened to Rob Carney? Answers on a postcard, please. He did the warm-up, he went off, we were expecting him to come out, and of course we didn't even realise that he wasn't on the field until we spotted Ethan Asewa wearing a number 15 jersey. In the meantime, Sexton kicks it beautifully. Richard Strauss, I'm glad to say, is up and seems to be fit to continue. 12.5 minutes to go to half-time. Ulster would like some more points to keep in touch with a strong win at their backs in the second half here at the RDS. There is Strauss. He's them at the front. Boss, Madigan. Tackle was by Chris Henry, but well laid back by Madigan. Knocked back by Boss. Penalty against Ulster. Penalty number 7.
Clear the area quicker. Back to go.
Well, this was the initial take. Madigan did well. Chris Henry with the tackle. Ball was laid back, and Chris Henry's foot came through.
Yeah, not sure he could see what was happening there. If the referee's adjudicating that was purposefully done, you'd expect a card to be issued there. And not sure that Chris Henry could see where the ball was on that occasion. But as the penalties mount, the referee's got to start considering his options to try and get this game flowing. It's stagnated at the breakdown area. That's been the source of all the penalties thus far.
Richard Strauss has gone off. Well, he's got a nasty looking cut apart from anything else. Professor Arthur Tanner leading him off. Sean Cronin is on the park. Leinster replacement hooker. And this is Sexton to restore the Leinster lead to 10 points with about 11 minutes of this half remaining. It really has flown in. But the happier crowd will be the Leinster crowd, without a doubt. Leisurely swing of the right foot. And would you believe Johnny Sexton has missed that? So 2 out of 3 for Johnny Sexton. It stays at Ulster 3, Leinster 10. Ulster really, you would feel, Ryan, have to be getting something before the end of this half.
Yeah, Johnny Sexton just rolling his neck. He took a heavy hit from Dyack in that cover defence. Just rolling the shoulder, twisting the neck, maybe tightening up a bit for him.
Jackson puts it long. McFadden takes. No real pressure on him. Muller goes in with the tackle. Boss at the breakdown. Shane Jennings, Leinster's try scorer.
7 away.
The tackle by Henry and Dyack. Madigan, there's that little wrap round again. O'Driscoll taken a bit high by Darren Kay, but referee's happy enough. Well released by O'Driscoll. McLaughlin.
And release 2. 7 away.
Chris Henry anxious to get into things. Good tackle by Tui on the enormous Toner. Great steal by Ulster. Here comes Paddy Jackson. Needs to shift this. He does so. Here's Darren Cave.
Advantage.
They tried to set Tommy Bowe off on a short little pass, but it hasn't worked. Leinster get the ball back. Listen to the Leinster crowd. Jamie Heaslip, Ireland skipper, sets it up. Boss, Sexton.
Over.
Cian Healy will have a rumble. Lovely pass. Toner almost intercepted by Andrew Trimble. Very close. Had he held that, he was gone.
He's done it plenty of times for Ulster before. Very clever read there. Looked like a 3-on-1 developing. Andrew Trimble shoots in and either takes man and ball or looks for that intercept opportunity. And we see a big hit coming in there from Dan Tui. And then Chris Henry, excellent work over the ball. Quick steal, transfer of the ball away to Pina and keeps that ball moving. Dangerous counter-attack ball.
Yeah. Inside pass to Tommy Bowe was probably the right option, but it wasn't terribly well executed. And here's the almost interception. Well, Trimble was going to run into some pretty heavy blue traffic there, even if he had caught that, so he wasn't too far away. 8.5 minutes remaining. 7 points between them. After an awful start, Ulster will not be too disappointed.
They've really come back into this game after that 20-minute mark. Leinster were really dominating where the game was being played, and certainly the scoreboard. Ulster have gone through a passage now where they've got their ball players into it. They're getting front foot ball. They'll want that to continue for the remainder of the half.
Touch judge on the near side, I think George Clancy has called that. No, in fact, it's not. It's John Lacey himself, and he's penalised Tom Court for driving in at an illegal angle. And Leinster, through Sexton, I'm pretty sure will want to make ground. That's about 8 penalties Ulster have given away, which is really far too many. And Sexton's indicated he's going to go for the post, and he does have a strong wind behind him.
Yeah, most coaches will want to ensure that their penalty count remains in single figures. Both teams edging up towards the double-figure mark in this first half alone.
Well, fun and games on this side with Cian Healy and John Afoa. Neither man giving much. Well, Sexton missed with a comparatively easy kick by his own standards a few minutes ago. So there's another chance then to extend the Leinster lead to 10 points. Pretty stiffish breeze at his back, and just a question of getting the strike right. That looks all right from here. But a very good kick by Sexton. So just when Ulster looked like they might be capable of coming back, Leinster strike again. There's a 10-point gap with 6.5 minutes to the interval. Ulster 3 and Leinster 13.
Well, Leinster will be aware that with this wind at their back, they need to accumulate points. Much easier with Ulster turning at half-time. Penalties become within range from 55, even 60 metres with the calibre of Ulster's kickers, and we see the strength of it there as that one hangs in the breeze.
Well, it was a great kick by Paddy Jackson, but nobody from Ulster really rose, but now they've stolen it. Stuart Olding, Payne comes into the line and changes direction, but Leinster were waiting for him. Well taken on by Robbie Dyack. Bit of a fumble, but that's all right.
I agree.
Ulster get the penalty.
7 roll. 7, get a clear the tackle area off your feet.
Shane Jennings.
9.
Another penalty at the breakdown as they accumulate. The referee has to do something about this, otherwise the game will continue in the same vein. Penalties, field position, kicks for goal, not the spectacle we were hoping for in such an occasion with such overhead conditions.
I'll play advantage, and I'll come back if I have to. Right?
Well, Paddy Jackson's restart kick was spot on, but Devin Toner is so big, and when he's getting a bit of a lift, he's almost up to the clouds. There's a good tackle on Jared Payne, and Robbie Dyack did well to get in there, and Jennings it was who gave away the penalty. Well, like his fellow Kiwi, it was at number Joe Smith, Ulster's coach, Mark Hanscom, not noted for giving too much away. Tough kick this one as the sun comes out in Dublin 4. Ruan Pienaar into a strong wind, so he's got to keep it low and strike it as hard as he possibly can. He's given it a good thump as trying to carry, and he's got it. That's an excellent strike by Ruan Pienaar after one by Johnny Sexton. So there's a converted try between them. 4 minutes remaining until the interval. Ulster 6 and Leinster 13.
A very important 4 minutes. A 7-point margin with this wind is something Ulster could live with. If they could get another score, they'll feel they've come out the better of this half. Leinster, if they can get some points going into half-time, give them some momentum and a degree of comfort as they turn into the wind.
Right.
Sexton to give his forward something to chase.
Hang on.
Oh, well gathered in by Leinster and by Brian O'Driscoll. And Ulster's reception of that kick-off was not very good too. He puts the tackle in. Leinster looking for something more, and that's always the danger. Jamie Heaslip down and up. He wasn't held. Good appreciation of the laws of the game. Boss on the narrow side. Toner taken by Dyack, who's really put himself about again. What a great season he's had. Cian Healy tackled by Ruan Pienaar. Ulster will be trying to force Leinster into touch. Ulster foot coming through. Heaslip takes it on again. Tackle was by Tue. Leinster on the narrow side. Clever appreciation. Trying to create a little bit more space. Healy with the ball in one big paw. Away he goes. 3 minutes remaining. If Leinster can get another score here, it's going to make Ulster's second half all that more difficult. Sean Cronin makes good ground. Well, the ball is there. In goes Toner. Jennings in support. Ulster line very close. Ulster fragmenting a little bit. Leinster coming right through the middle. Now Boss sets it up to McLaughlin. Picked up by Jennings, looking for a second try. Good clearing out by Leinster. Afoa being held and not happy about being held. Leinster drive for the line. It's Cronin. The referee was standing there. He's given a penalty against Ulster.
After two first. Marcus Hill. Straight down two. Decision.
Leinster going for the post.
Another passage of play going around the fringes, looking at that short side, slowly eking their way towards the try line. And once again, surprise, surprise, it's a penalty at the breakdown.
Well, John Afoa was being held and took exception to it, but that's not what the penalty was for. Well, he wasn't allowed to engage. And Cronin went for the line and was somebody in an offside position, hard to say. Might have been Rory Best diving in. Well, Ulster must have known from years of experience playing against Leinster that when you score against Leinster, the first thing they're going to do is come straight back. And Ulster's reception of the restart kick wasn't simply up to the mark, and Leinster there went on and have got themselves in this position where Johnny Sexton should extend the lead back to 10 points. It's about the easiest kick he's had on this balmy Dublin evening. Straight forward for Sexton yet again. And that 10-point gap has come and gone and is back again. Ulster 6, Leinster 16. And I doubt if Ulster have time to do anything before the interval.
I think that'll be half-time without the scoreboard being bothered, you'd think. On balance, probably fairly even. That driving maul and conversion at the start of the game, the real thing that separates these two teams. Otherwise, it's been fairly evenly matched.
Taken in by Madigan, sporting a brand new haircut.
They will go 6. Use it.
Boss puts it into touch. Sensible bit of play by the former Ulster scrum half. And Ulster got off to an awful start, Ryan. There were signs that they could do something, but they've got to face a 10-point deficit at the start of the second half.
Yeah, they'll need to be calm when they come out. There's plenty of time on the clock. They've got a big wind at their backs. They're going to need to talk to the referee and find out what's happening at the breakdown. Both sides are suffering from it. The game's suffering from it. You feel the team that works that out and gets dominance in that area will go on to win this game. With ball in hand, Ulster have looked very good, but Leinster are the team controlling this game on the scoreboard.
Ulster 10 points adrift here at the RDS. Ulster 6 and Leinster 16.
Well, it's advantage Leinster in the race to pick up the Pro12 trophy. Incredible noise, high intensity, and it's Leinster who got off to the best possible start with that Shane Jennings try. In finals, it's all about taking your opportunities, and Ulster have spurned most of theirs. Ruan Pienaar has certainly kept them in touch, but Ulster have given far too many penalties away, and Johnny Sexton has punished them with 5 out of 6. But Ulster certainly still well in this game. 10 points adrift with a strong wind at their backs in the second half. At halftime in the Rabo Direct Pro12 final, it's Ulster 6 and Leinster 16. Well, Brent Cunningham and Tony McWhirter have been enjoying what has been a frenetic first half, and because of Ulster's indiscipline, Leinster deserve it of their half-time lead.
Yeah, I think the opening 10 minutes in particular was poor from an Ulster perspective. They gave away far too many penalties. They gave away territory and possession, and that allowed Leinster to get into their stride very early, and that's obviously one of the things Ulster certainly wouldn't have wanted to happen. But it's trying to manage a breakdown, and that's where the problems are arising for both sides, but particularly for Ulster.
Yeah, the start, you know, we talked about it, Stephen, at the top of the show. The start was all important, and once again, Ulster were caught one thing. I think, as Bryn said, there's 4 penalties given away in the first 6 minutes. Leinster have got a big foothold in the game with a strong wind at their back. Ulster, to some extent, have done well to come back into this, although I think both sevens are lucky that they haven't spent 10 minutes in the bin in the first half.
But Leinster came out of the blocks in style and almost in perfect fashion as well.
Yeah, well, I think it showed their intent early on. You know, they get a penalty deep into Ulster's territory, and you fully expect them to probably take the points, but instead, you know, they decide to go for the corner, and it's very, very good play from a Leinster pack.
Technically, Stephen, it's brilliant. Ulster go for the sack here behind where the ball's thrown. Leinster ground it and spin it quickly, and it's a simple drive over, but Ulster haven't done their homework there. You know, they've misrepresented where the balls come down. As you can see, Ruan Pienaar and Robbie Diak aren't going to score or stop 5 or 6 Leinster guys from 5 metres.
But that all came from Ulster giving too many penalties away quickly at the start of that first half, Brent.
That's right, it's all about discipline in this game, and we say that so often during the season, that, you know, if you can manage a referee, work out how he's reffing at that breakdown, whether you've got to get your hands off immediately, whether you've got the extra second on the ball, that makes all the difference. So it's small margins, and for that opening 10 or 15 minutes, Ulster were on the wrong end of all of those calls.
As you say, it is about small margins, and if Robbie Diak had slid in for his score instead of staying upright, it could have been a completely different picture at halftime.
You know, it could have been, Stephen. You know, I think if we're being honest about it, he's butchered that. He had the ball in the right hand in the corner. It's great lead-up play off the line. It's something that Bryn mentioned early on. They've used Nick Williams as the decoy here. Paddy Jackson's done brilliantly. Going through the middle, stayed up. It's quick ball, and there's a simple skip pass here. Robbie has the ball in the right hand. Go low man, score. He tries to come back inside, and, you know, realistically, that should have been 5 points.
You've got to take your chances, Bryn.
Well, that's what it's all about. At this stage of the competition and at this level, you're not going to get too many opportunities against such a good side as Leinster. And the build-up play was so good, as Tony mentioned. Nick Williams, lovely soft hands. It drew in 3 or 4 Leinster defenders. They thought he was going to take it into contact. They get the ball out into that area, and yeah, you got to score.
But that will be the big encouragement for Ulster, a move like that, Tony.
Yeah, Stephen, it will be. I think we've actually underestimated here before the game how strong that wind actually is, and there's been 2 or 3 occasions where we've seen Pienaar and Jackson kick for touch, and the ball hasn't really gone very far. Leinster, whenever they've kicked, have tried to kick long and keep the ball in play, and Ulster have suffered from that as well. We haven't been able to string anything together, and as Bryn has said, the game has been really dominated by the referee, unfortunately, rather than the 2 teams.
Yeah, but I mean, 16-6 isn't actually that bad a result in that wind, and if the wind strength does stay as it was in the first half, then Ulster are very, very much in this game. And those opening 10 minutes, you feared for them a little bit, and I think it showed a lot of resolve, a lot of strength of character for them to start getting back and clawing their way back into that game, because there would have been, some bad memories coming in from last year, and is this game going to slip away from us right from the off? And thankfully, that hasn't happened, and I think we're in for a very tight second half.
Tony, what's your take on the referee's analysis of the breakdown and the way he's handling that?
I think it's been difficult, Stephen. I think from the referee's point of view, he wants both teams to stay on their feet. And if guys are going off their feet and they're not releasing in the tackle, he doesn't have any option. And it's been that sort of game. There's been no niggle in the game, but guys have not listened. The players have not listened to what they've been told. And it's the same persistent infringement from both sides. It's not just Ulster. Leinster have given away their fair share of penalties as well. And I think Ryan said at half-time, somebody will knock the door at half-time, ask him the question, what is expected of us? Because at the minute, both teams do not have a fair indication of what he wants.
He also made a good point, Ryan, in commentary, that the referee has to actually give a yellow card at some point, because until he does do that, nothing's going to change.
Yes, there's no deterrent.
There's no deterrent. The players will still be prepared to just step over that line slightly, and especially if they're outside, kicking range, they will continue to go for that ball.
Yeah, Ulster have created quite a lot in the first half, considering the poor start, but again, just not taking their chance.
I think there's been 2 or 3 opportunities, Stephen, and there's a nice break here down the left-hand side from Stuart Olding, and off the back of that there's a charge down, which, in fairness, Isaac Boss does very, very well to cover and actually stop Ulster from scoring. But we have had incidents where we've got inside the Leinster, never mind the 22, their 5-metre line, and we haven't converted, we haven't scored any points, and that's been crucial.
And as Tony said again, it's about taking those opportunities. That's the difference. Leinster get down to that 22 and they maximise that territorial advantage, and Ulster have got to try and do the same. And we see here again, great build-up play, taking the one-off runners, assessing the breakdown fairly well in the opposition 22, being patient, recycling ball. But here's the problem arises: isolation.
Yeah.
Just gets isolated for a split second. His support play's not quite there quickly enough, and Leinster are all over that ball.
Leinster have dealt very well with Nick Williams, Stephen. They've always had 2 guys on him, one low, one high. He's been able to carry ball and recycle ball, but it hasn't been anything over the gain line, which has enabled the Ulster backs really to get any pace or width on the game.
Yeah, that one example there of how they tethered Nick Williams, turned him over, but at other times Leinster seemed to be able to slow the ball down at the breakdown.
We do, and we talked about Sean O'Brien missing from the Leinster side. That obviously would hamper them, but bringing Shane Jennings in brings a different dimension to them. And what we've seen him do on a couple of occasions in that first half was tackle low, go for Nick Williams round the ankles. That's what people have to do. And if you double team him round the ankles and then somebody else over the ball, that kind of negates his play. And that's what Leinster have done pretty effectively. They've got people to the breakdown. They've caused a few issues there for Ulster, stopping them getting that quick ball to try and get the likes of Bowe and Trimble and Payne into the game.
Ulster obviously targeted the scrum before the start of this game. They have had the advantage, but unfortunately haven't taken the advantage that they've had in it.
No, they certainly had the early advantage. This is off the back of the Isaac Boss touchdown, Stephen, and Ulster have got 1-2 penalties, and then they've gone for a third one eventually. But Ulster clearly have the nudge here. Great body position from John Afoa. Tom Court's putting Mike Ross under massive pressure. But it's the third one that's the issue. Leinster get a little bit of a wheel and a nudge on. Nick Williams is caught at the back of the scrum, disengages and is then tackled. Leinster turn the ball over and are able to clear their line, and we've been sloppy at the base of the scrum.
I think as well, watching that scrum again, that could have gone the other way. There was a problem in the front row area. It went down early, but the referee let the play commence. We've seen sometimes that penalty given because it was a third one. Often they favour the side going forward, which was Ulster, and it could have so easily been a penalty try. And this one here, Tony mentioned as well.
Yeah, no, if there is one negative side to Nick's game, it's going backwards. If your scrum's going backwards, he's not the best at picking the ball up and shoring it up. And certainly in that occasion, I would have liked to personally have seen him pick it up rather than let Ruan Pienaar take the flag.
Okay, let's go pitch side and join Gavin Andrews.
Well, Andy Ward and Keith Wood are still with me, and the drummers, of course, you can hear in the background. Andy, you've been as unimpressed with the referee as some of the Ulster fans in this first half?
Yeah, I think it has been a few dubious decisions, to be fair now. I think he bailed out of the penalty try down the corner. I think Ulster were putting immense pressure on at that point, and he just sort of bailed out at the very last point. So a bit disappointed with that. And there's a few decisions going not quite the Ulster way, but that's me with the complete Ulster eye patch on, so that's fair.
Well, Ulster have had their chances as well.
They have. They created opportunities. I think Robbie Dyack completely made a hash of the try in the corner. Just a quick note to everybody, you're 2 yards out, go low, you can't be stopped. So that was a bit of a sin. You know, they worked very, very hard to get to that point, and for them to let it go at that point, just sort of lack of concentration was very, very poor.
Well, Keith, what have you made of the first half? Entertaining stuff for two sides, a little bit cagey?
Yeah, a little bit cagey. I think, to be honest, for the first 20 minutes, Ulster were lacking composure. They were making mistakes, giving away silly penalties, and I do take Andy's point. I think John Lacey has been quite hard on them on a couple of occasions, but their composure, even holding the ball at the back of the scrum, I think they would have got the penalty try if they kept a little bit more focused, just holding on to it. They're putting Leinster scrum under an awful lot of pressure, but Leinster have been clinical. You know, they've taken the chances when they've had to. They just seem to, I think, understand where they are a little bit more. They're more comfortable at this sort of level. Now, it is different. There is a very bright sun. There's a big gust of wind. It just depends on how each side deals with that in the second half.
Right, Keith, Anna, thanks for your time, boys.
Well, it's a 10-point game at half-time. Tony, Bryn, Ulster will be, I would imagine, pretty encouraged that it's not more at half-time, and certainly know that this game is not out of reach at all.
It's definitely not out of reach. I don't think Leinster threatened them too much whenever they moved the ball, or once or twice they got into the wide channels, but Ulster's defence seemed to cover it pretty well. They were well marshalled. I think for Ulster, they will just be talking about discipline, simple as that. If they can get the discipline sorted and then control territory, that's the key. If they can control territory with this win, then they've got a very good chance.
Yeah, the key to the second half, Stephen, is to use the wind. Play in the Leinster half, give Leinster as few scoring opportunities as possible. As Keith Wood has said there, maintain the composure, go through the phases, the space will come. It's warm, the guys have rallied. There's been an awful lot of running out there in the first half. There's been 2 or 3 guys off injured, and there's been a serious amount of heavy hitting going on defensively as well. And over the course of 80 minutes, that's going to take its toll.
And important, Brent, not to start this second half the way they did the first.
No, well, absolutely. They certainly don't want to do that. You know, it's important, as I mentioned, the territory is the main thing. But what they want to do is make sure they get their hands on the ball within the first few seconds of this half and try and get that ball down there. I think so far Paddy Jackson's actually controlled the game very well from 10. He's looked very solid in there, and Ruan Pienaar will have to bring him along, direct him as well, make sure the two of them control the territory and control possession, and just be patient.
He won't know about it yet, Tony, but Rory Best could be in line for a call up to the Lions with Dylan Hartley out.
Yeah, obviously we don't know the ins and outs of it, Stephen, and there's on the back of a red card there's a suspension meeting and a length of time, but I think we all feel that Rory should be there to start with, so hopefully there'll be some good Ulster news to come out the back of this.
Of course, it's about the here and now, and Rory Best and his Ulster team have got a Rabo Direct Pro 12 final to win. Let's rejoin our commentary team, Rand Constable and Jim Neely.
Well, it's not the quietest venue in the world at the moment. It's certainly the noisiest venue in Dublin for Ulster. 10 points adrift against the side who won the title in 2002 and 2008 and have lost 3 successive finals to the Ospreys 3 years ago, then Munster, and then the Ospreys again last year. So Johnny Sexton, Lyons and Paris bound gets this second half underway. And Ulster very nearly conceded possession again. Bit of a mix-up there into the sunlight. Touch judge's flag is up on the far side, and George Clancy has given the first line out of the second half to Ulster. And they must secure possession from here. It was a very, very good kick from Sexton. It hung, it was tantalising. Jared Payne and Andrew Trimble said yours, and it was very nearly in Madigan's. This is Rory Best. Taken by Tui, Pienaar. Chris Henry, bit static, that looked forward. Clay on, says the referee, didn't see that one. I'm pretty sure it was forward.
Hold.
Ulster outside their 22, so Pienaar can't kick directly into touch, but he's gone for distance and let the wind carry it. Conway, Nathewa.
Out.
Not a great contact. Tui knocked it backwards. Court has a rumble himself. Needs a bit of help. Ulster a bit slowish to the breakdown. Paddy Jackson. Tommy Bowe. Good tackle by McFadden. First penalty of the second half goes against Ulster. Well, Nick Williams looks incredulously up at John Lacey.
Yeah, the theme continuing, and it's been not clearing the area, not rolling away, holding on to the ball in attack. A litany of offences that have been well described by the referee, but the players not really taking any heed, and you feel there needs to be further censure to give those warnings some merit. As we see Tommy Bowe not holding back, taking that ball into contact. There's been big collisions all around. I think it's Nick Williams and Andrew Trimble as they enter that inflicted the damage on Ian Madigan.
Yeah, Tommy Bowe just guilty of hanging on, not really making an effort to roll out of the way. Top try scorer in the Celtic League, formerly Magnus, now the Pro12 with 51 tries. Andrew Goodman is the man who'll come on for Leinster if Ian Madigan can't continue. Tommy Bowe will be hoping the next 39 minutes passes victoriously for himself and Ulster, and injury-free for himself. Ian Madigan seems to be fine. Joe Schmidt, who has been nothing short of sensational in his tenure here as Leinster's coach. If he can bring what he's brought to Leinster to Ireland, I think a lot of Irish fans will be pretty happy next season, Ryan.
Yeah, not a man that's divided opinion. Everyone unanimous in their endorsement as him being the chosen candidate for Ireland, and hoping to witness the same spectacles in a green jersey as he's delivered in the blue of Leinster.
Quick ball by McLaughlin. Jennings takes it forward. Leinster back into the driving seat. Madigan seems to be fine. Well tackled by Muller. Leo Cullen, Leinster's redoubtable skipper.
Advantage.
Referee's got the hand out, not for another penalty against Ulster, surely. I think it is, you know. Leinster playing the advantage. Jennings takes it forward. Boss. Sexton, advantage still being played. Jamie Heaslip. Rory Best just hangs on to him. Advantage might well be over. Boss into a bit of space. Well called for by Pienaar, and he is coming back for the penalty. Well, Ulster really are shooting themselves in both feet, Ryan.
Yeah, it's the penalties that just keep coming, and hopefully this is the warning.
Oh, somebody's getting a card now.
6. Off her feet, ruck.
Robbie Dyack off his feet at the ruck, and in he goes to the bin. So another penalty, and really, it's looking like Leinster's trophy.
Well, the referee has now taken the action to try and ward off this constant flow of penalties at the breakdown. They've been for a variety of different offences. He's deemed that to be enough and drawn a line in the sand. Now it's up to the players how they respond to that to ensure they stay on the pitch.
Well, Ulster's major failing this season, Ryan, has been the penalty count, and you would have thought on an occasion like this they would try to do something about it, but clearly, whether it's a referee's interpretation or not, Ulster really have been giving away penalty after penalty, and they're now into double figures, I reckon.
They'll be disappointed to concede points early in this second half. They would have wanted to be first on the scoreboard, start eroding that margin very quickly. It's Johnny Sexton now with a relatively easy kick.
Well, I'm glad the Ulster supporters who started booing ceased booing. Sexton has only missed one so far. He's landed 3 penalties and a conversion, this to make it 4 penalties and to stretch the Leinster lead even further. He's given that a nice clip, and the touch judge's flags will tell you that Johnny Sexton has landed 5 successful kicks out of 6 attempts, and Ulster now 13 points behind. Ulster with a man in the bin 6 and Leinster 19.
And Ulster have shown in this game, for them it's about possession. When they have the ball in general play and they start getting into that well-oiled game plan of big runners going through, quick clean-outs, quick possession, they will make line breaks, they will score points. They just need possession.
Andrew Conway, late replacement for Rob Carney, takes the ball in. It's a clever kick by Boss. Well taken by Williams in spectacular fashion. Pienaar, Chris Henry. John Afoa struggling with that right leg of his. Pienaar, quicker ball by Ulster. Payne, Tommy Bowe, desperate to get into this game. Pienaar again, Rory Best. Gets it away to Andrew Trimble. Still Pienaar, Williams, Tommy Bowe did nicely. Quicker ball by Ulster, Henry. Jackson has a little go, lovely break by Jackson. Could do with a bit of help. Jackson might go all the way. It's a high tackle by Nasewa. Took him round the collar. Ulster crowd not happy about that at all. That has to be a yellow card. I don't think a penalty try was ever an option, but certainly it was a high tackle.
Yeah, this will be yellow for sure. Questionable about the penalty try. Would it definitely have been scored without the infringement? I don't think you can say that from 10 metres out. Paddy Jackson's looked dangerous all game. He's got those magic feet. Let's hear the referee.
Yeah, he is going to the pocket, and it's going to be a slightly tarnished farewell to Leinster colours for the outstanding Leinster servant of recent years, Isa Nathewa. This game number 126 for him. Well, this second half is not lacking for incident.
And we saw it again, off the foot there, excellent step, beats the cover defender and then slices in between, and the Thiwa, not a huge amount of malice in there, just grasping out for the player, grabbing what he could, which happened to be the collar. Justifiable penalty and yellow card, but Ulster showing again they have that ability to break that Leinster defence down. Paddy Jackson playing a lot flatter, he's got the footwork to bother the Leinster defence, and Tommy Bowe looking to get involved, Nick Williams becoming more prominent. Ulster fully aware that a 10-point margin is all that separates now.
Straightforward strike by Rowan Pienaar, closes the gap once again to 9 points. So Ulster were facing the prospect of playing with 14 men, but Ethan Nasewa is in the bin. So both sides are down to 14 men. Diak for Ulster and Nasewa. I see Paul Marshall warming up on the far side. Not sure how Paddy Jackson is after that. Marshall has disappeared somewhere. Sexton. That's long. Payne. Pienaar. What a good kick by Pienaar. Another year on his contract at Ravenhill, Rowan Pienaar. I'm sure every effort will be made to try to get him to extend.
Stay there, Captain, please. Stay there now.
Ricard Streusser got a bit of a thump when he tackled Rory Best and then went off for a blood injury. Good steal by Ulster at the line-out. That's come off a Leinster player. Oh, the touch judge has changed his mind.
Well, not much option for Rowan Pienaar. The way that ball bounced, he was corralled into a corner and tried to make the most of it by a clever little kick down the sideline, but just finding touch, and Leinster get a second opportunity.
Cullen couldn't quite get to it, but it's knocked back in the Leinster side, despite great work by Johan Muller, Ulster's skipper. Boss to McLaughlin. Afoa straight in there to try to disrupt. Cian Healy, well held up by Ulster. Great work by Rory Best and turning his Irish colleague over, but Keeley squeezed it back. Boss is being held onto. Sexton. Oh, that's a cracking kick by Sexton. Well taken by Leinster. Here's Leo Cullen. Isaac Boss gets away from Trimble's tackle. Good work by Muller. Still here for Leinster. Devon Toner thumped by Nick Williams. Ian Madigan, Leo Cullen, Chris Henry with the tackle for Ulster. Boss again. Brian O'Driscoll, head bandaged, makes great ground.
Stay 9.
Boss again. Leinster with no fullback, remember, keeping it tight. Ulster with no blindside flanker. So very sensible Leinster play. Madigan, O'Driscoll.
And roll 3.
Runs into some tough Ulster tackling. McLaughlin gets it away. Healy flips it out of the back of the hand. Well gathered by Olding. Just as well, because Leinster had a couple of extra men. Referee was playing advantage. Madigan has come all the way back. He's got Tommy Bowe on top of him. Bowe nabs him. He's got a release. Oh, he's out of the tackle. He was tackled and he didn't release. Ulster get the penalty.
Yeah, excellent work from Pienaar to size up the situation, see the space in behind, and then Madigan thought he had a lot more time. Tommy Bowe reacted very quickly. Excellent tackle from Jackson. Olding does well to keep his feet and gather under pressure. Then it's the recycle ball, the decision-making, and then we see Tommy Bowe like a flash. Must have been just behind the hindmost, just behind the kicker, but that's quite often you see players missing that. They don't steady themselves. The tackle was affected. He was on the ground. He cannot get up, hence the penalty to Ulster.
Yeah, well, Tommy Bowe had him with both hands, so the tackle was good and he was on the ground. John Lacey gives the penalty to Ulster, and Ruan Pienaar has this chance to get Ulster to within 7 points. Solid contact. Up go the flags. Pienaar nails another one. Ulster into double figures. Ulster 12, Leinster 19. Both sides still with men in the bin.
It's turning into quite a bruising encounter. You're feeling the hits now come in this tackles as the stakes are raised. Both teams realising half an hour left in this domestic season. Thiwa casually chewing on some gum, waiting for his time to be back up.
Well, he really will be missed here in Dublin. Sexton. Pienaar. It's another impressive kick by Ruan Pienaar. Leinster line out, but they're back close to their own 10-metre line.
That's the luxury of this wind at your back. I'd like to see Ulster kicking more for distance, trusting their defensive line, applying pressure to Leinster. Their kick-out option will be hindered by the wind they're playing into. It's about discipline and focus now for Ulster. Leinster will want to arrest that scoring sequence that Ulster have developed.
Richard Strauss. He's the boss. Sexton, Madigan. Good tackle by Paddy Jackson initially. Leinster have won it. Toner was toppled by Olding. This is the abrasive Jennings. Like Leo Cullen spent a couple of years productively with the Leicester Tigers. Cian Healy. Strauss.
And release 4.
O'Driscoll. Oh, there's that lovely angle cut by O'Driscoll, but he gives it to Rory Best. Ulster have men out wide. Pienaar ups the kick. Conway slips. Well, that was unfortunate for Andrew Conway. Started last week's Amlin final against Stade Francais and was due to be in the bench here today. That's a typical O'Driscoll run and a very untypical O'Driscoll giveaway. Rory Best read it well.
Obviously been practicing his Dublin accent, getting that one. Pienaar, absolutely the right option to kick deep into Leinster territory. They muscle up now, put pressure on this defensive line out and see if they can spend some time.
Ulster must try to get something out of this bit of 10 territorial advantage. That was well taken by Kevin McLaughlin for Leinster. Johan Muller trying to make a nuisance of himself. Leinster just holding on to possession. Ball has gone loose. Leo Cullen down and up again. And Ulster get the penalty.
You're on the floor.
Ball was played on the ground by a player, I think it was on the ground.
On your feet, please.
And Ulster will look for another 3 points. They're eroding this lead from Leinster quite nicely. Wind at their backs. They've got the tactics required. If you were looking at both coaches now, and at the 55-minute mark, you said you'd be into this win, but you'd be behind by 7 points. You wouldn't be too concerned.
Bobby Dyack is back on the field, but within a couple of minutes, he's in Athewa will be back on for Leinster, so we'll be 15 men apiece. When the ball was planted there, Leo Cullen went off his feet and then played the ball when he was on the ground. Well, yeah, sensible girl. She's probably listening to something like A New Direction. Bless her wit. One Direction. Shows you what I know. Mr. Consul with young children has put me right in that. This is Pienaar to make it 5 out of 5. And he's kicked beautifully. It is 5 out of 5. And it's now Ulster 15 and Leinster 19. And that's the closest Ulster have been since this game started.
And you feel that there's a little shift in momentum, but Ulster need to capitalise on that by playing smart rugby. There's no need to play elaborate rugby in your own defensive third when you have this wind at your back. You use that man on screen, Ruan Pienaar, Paddy Jackson, and the rest of the options that they have out wide in Jared Payne to establish field position, to get strong chasing lines, and you try and squeeze Leinster out of this match.
Ethan Athewa is back on, so we're back to 15 apiece. Gathered in inside the 22, and what a kick Pienaar has put in. Ulster fans on the far side not enamoured with George Clancy's reading of that. Little shake of the head by Pienaar. He was looking for an extra 20 metres. George Clancy, he says no, 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 no. Did the 2 league games, George Clancy. Did not endear himself, I think, with the Leinster fans on either occasion. Hazelip, Boss, Sexton, Madigan. Good tackle by Stuart Olding. What a season the young man has had. O'Driscoll inside to Hazelip. Good first up Ulster tackling by Afoa. Jennings into Nathewa, back on the park. Jennings again, aggressive running, needs to be held and he wasn't. Boss, Kevin McLaughlin, more like it from Leinster, got away from the Williams tackle. Boss, Madigan. It's well tackled by Paddy Jackson. Leinster make it available. Boss looking to have a little go himself. Still there for Leinster. This is Madigan. Tackled by Court and by Tue. Mike Ross into Ruan Pienaar.
No.
Well laid back by Ross. Isaac Boss. Sexton. McLaughlin. Again, good Ulster defence. Boss. Sexton with a dummy. He's got through. Just held on to. Somebody got his jersey. Deceptively quick. Boss hasn't got himself and he's knocked it forward.
It's almost as if Leinster have sensed the threat from Ulster's resurgent and have met that with an increase in the tempo of the game. Direct running from their players, quick recycling ball, and just unfortunate for them, that little knock-on just undoing what was a very promising move.
Well, it was 16-6 to Leinster at the start of the second half. It's now 19-15, only less than a converted try between them. Oh, Isaac Boss, I think he just got mixed up with one of his Leinster players. Might have been Mike Ross, and he's nudged it forward to give Ulster the scrum. What a racket here. Stuart Olding, who's had a wonderful end of season, resulting in him being selected for the Irish tour to North America, is down injured. Great defensive work by Nick Williams on Devon Toner. And look at O'Driscoll, head down, cares nothing for his own fitness.
Okay.
Looked like a rap dance move there, some sort of a head spin maneuver being performed. It just shows you the physical nature of this encounter. That the intensity is being ratcheted up as this game progresses. That scoreline now, 4 points separating the two teams, and an intriguing 22 minutes left in this match.
I think that apart from the overseas players and Shane Jennings, everybody on the park is doing something in the summer, whether it's a Lions tour, an Irish senior tour, or an Irish development tour to Georgia, or even the Barbarians in the case of Jared Payne.
Good boys. Okay, head and shoulders this side. Yeah. Keep closer, please.
Rory Best, there'll be loads of speculation as to what the outcome of the Dylan Hartley red card may be.
Coach!
And if what I'm hearing about what Dylan Hartley said to the referee is true, I have a feeling he will be in for a serious suspension. Leinster trying to get the squeeze on. Nick Williams gets it away, but Leinster have closed them down. Ulster need to regroup. Jackson been told by Pienaar to step back, but he's going to do it himself, and he does. He's kept that in field. Gathered in by Conway, tries to get away from Trimble. Olding has put in some terrific tackling today. Here's Sexton. Now it's McFadden off the wing into Johan Muller.
Captain.
20 minutes and a wee bit remaining. Kevin McLaughlin. Great grappling by Rory Best, who's held him up. McLaughlin squeezed it back. Boss. Sexton into the corner. Cave covers. He's given that a fair old lick. Sexton gets back. Nathewa back from the bin. Wants to make amends into Dyack. Back from the bin. Boss. Sexton. McFadden. Great tackle by Cave. Ball spilled forward. Chris Henry penalised, I think. I thought the ball went forward from a Leinster hand before that. The harsh call.
Okay, please. Yeah.
The referee getting the nod from the assistant on the sideline to say there was some interference with the hand as that ball spurted out.
Johnny Sexton is going to go for the post. No, he's not. He's going for the corner. Peter Fitzgibbon, the Munster touch judge, the man called into play there. Well, I thought Sexton might have had a go at that.
Okay, it's okay. Yeah.
Well, the Leinster fans are delighted with that decision. Peter Fitzgibbon said it was okay, and that's about as perfectly kicked as you could get from Johnny Sexton. Now, if Leinster can squeeze a try out of this one, Ryan, it might be game over. But that was a very, very tough call. Did that actually go into touch and goal? Well, you couldn't tell from that angle. This is the most crucial line out of the afternoon.
Interesting to see if they come up with a different variation from the one they used to score the try, the double bluff potentially from Leinster. They need to secure possession first.
Jamie Heaslip is standing at 2. It may well go to him. No, it goes to Collins straight forward. Heaslip is in there. Tom Court stands to the narrow side. Also need to get more men in. Now they have more men in. Leinster will try to squeeze forward, I'm sure. Here they go. Referee has said one more and you have to play it. Cian Healy has it. John Afoa came round. Ulster came round again. Leinster going for the jugular. Now they have to move it. Here's Healy. Wonderful tackle by Afoa. Leinster within touching distance of Ulster's post. Jennings looking for try number 2. Boss. O'Driscoll.
Still advantage.
Referee still has called advantage, so it might well be another penalty against Ulster. Healy leaves it back. Boss to his skipper Leo Cullen. Stuart Olding came in. He's got to get out of the way. Boss on the narrow side. Here go Leinster again. That might be the try. Referee's got to go upstairs.
Yeah, okay. I'm right. I know. We're going upstairs.
O'Driscoll thinks the try has been scored. And they think the try has been scored by Jamie Heaslip, but they will go upstairs.
Can you hear me?
Yes, John, I can hear you.
Dermot Maloney, the TMO.
Is there any reason why I can't award a try, please?
Okay, John, is there any reason why you can't award a try?
Well, that's going to be it, because he's asked, is there any reason why I can't award the try? And it looks like Jamie Heaslip has got over the line.
He's not going to see anything from that footage that will enable him not to award the try as we see it going over. There's nothing there that shows he didn't score it, so the benefit of the doubt, given the question, will go to the try scorer.
Well, he had a quiet start to the season. Jamie Heaslip didn't have a particularly distinguished Six Nations, but he's come back in fine style toward the end of this season. Has earned himself a second Lions tour, and has he earned Leinster, in all probability, a Pro12 title.
Excellent work by Devon Toner. He latched on early, added his considerable weight to proceedings to get Heaslip across the line.
I may award a try.
Try has been awarded. Leinster move 9 points ahead, and Joe Schmidt looks very, very relieved.
Yeah, that sigh of relief understandable, given that Ulster looked to have captured the momentum in this game, and what a stinging riposte that's been from Leinster. Jamie Heaslip really finishing the season off well, and it'll be interesting to see if the wind is taken out of Ulster's sails with that score.
Well, Ulster won at Ravenhill in the league proper. They won here at the RDS. But Leinster, having lost 3 successive Pro12 finals, are in no mood to make it a quartet of failure. Sexton. He's just pulled that, so no conversion, but 9 points between them. It's still doable for Ulster with 16 minutes remaining. It was O'Driscoll. Who else made the initial thrust? The ball was recycled quickly, and Boss, who's been outstanding, fed Heaslip, who crashed over. Robbie Dyack has left the field. Ian Henderson has come on for Ulster, wearing number 19. And Michael Allen has come on as well for Ulster. Ball loose on the far side. Referee giving advantage to Ulster. Stuart Olding is the man who's gone off injured, and Jared Payne's moving into centre. Now, will Darren Cave move to inside centre to allow Payne to play outside centre? We'll have to wait and see. Still time for Ulster. Dan Toohey, another member of the Ulster squad, off to North America with Ireland in a few weeks' time.
Oh! Crouch! Touch! Set!
Good Ulster scrum.
Hold.
Jackson. Wide to Payne. Bow. Knocked forward by Ulster. Referee playing advantage to Leinster. None comes.
Yes.
There's a look of frustration in the face of Tommy Bow. Just hasn't been able to get any kind of ball in any kind of space to show how good he is. Payne, a bit too flat, the pass a bit hard, and maybe not the right pass.
Yeah, nothing really disguised there. Ulster going a little bit lateral. Tommy Bow trying to straighten it, but excellent defensive work by Leinster. And you feel Ulster are going to need to score a try at this juncture with 15 minutes left on the clock and a 9-point deficit. Penalties may not be enough now. They're going to have to use their strike moves.
Well, Ulster need a converted try and a penalty to win this.
Crouch!
Or 10 points from some other source.
Hold on. I'm trying, Captain, yeah.
Well, the noise has been amazing right
closer,
from the
please, and I get louder, okay?
very first whistle. Mike Ross, another man like Rory Best, might have considered himself somewhat unfortunate not have been going to Australia, and as we've mentioned, Who knows what may happen with Rory Best. Early engagement by Ulster, taken by Jamie Hazlett. Looks like he's not enjoying himself. Kevin McLaughlin gets away from the first tackle. Boss, who's been outstanding for Leinster. Sexton, O'Driscoll, into Dan Tue. Ball comes back from O'Driscoll. Leo Cullen, oldest man in the park at 35, been playing for Leinster. This is his third decade playing for Leinster. Leinster are looking like a side that's well in control. Cian Healy.
Onside, please.
Good work by Strauss. Ian Madigan tackled by Jared Payne.
That's okay.
Cian Healy tidies into Tom Court.
Ball is available.
Leinster's control of the ball is exemplary at the moment. Devon Toner.
Move, tackles!
Gets that big frame to the ground and gives away the penalty.
He's arriving.
Has to go into the corner by Ulster.
Yeah, it's within range, but you feel that it's time now to take the more speculative option. Kick deep with the wind behind you. Should be somewhere between 5 and 15 metres out from the try line. Try to get something moving from that line out.
Timing?
Well, Pienaar has decided that the 3 points in the bag might just be the ticket, and it's the toughest kick he's faced on this glorious afternoon in Dublin 4. He's landed 5 from 5 so far, and the Ulster fans will be thinking to themselves, well, Ruin, this is no time to start missing.
I'm slow.
Yeah.
Just wait till we're down.
Your loose pop didn't touch either.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay. It's fine. Back.
Well, he's got all 15 of Ulster's points so far. This will put Ulster within range of a converted try to tie the game. My word, doesn't it look such a long way out? It needs to carry. What a kick from Pienaar. That has to be one of the kicks of the season. But is it good enough to propel Ulster to victory? Leinster have always come straight back. But Ryan, have you seen a better kick?
Under such pressure, that was by no means an easy one. You felt they would have kicked for the line because of the acute angle and distance, but Pienaar made it look easy and has restored a 6-point margin.
Brian O'Driscoll, who I think we're all delighted to say will be playing again next year. Pienaar inside his 22, and he's given that another fine strike. And that's taken Ulster well into Leinster territory. And even though it's a Leinster throw, Ulster do need a converted try to win this game. 2 penalties would just draw it.
You can see Paul Marshall warming up there. He's come on many occasions and scored that quick try, but Pienaar and Jackson playing particularly well today, and a number of clean breaks have been made for Ulster. They'll just need to get possession in opposition 22 now.
McLaughlin wins the line out. Oh, Jennings nearly got through. Somebody missed the first up tackle. Leinster on the front foot. Here's Ian Madigan. A bit like Stuart Olding, one of the players, of the young players of the season. Devon Toner. Boss. McLaughlin thought he saw a little bit of a gap. It was closed down by Ulster. Boss to Cian Healy. Jackson bravely stands up to him. Healy gets away. Intercept by Henderson. Rolls the body over, has made it available. Penalty against Leinster. Chance for Ulster to make some yardage.
I expect Ulster to take their time here. Ruan Pienaar to set the sights. See how close he can get to that try line. He'll be looking to get at least around that 22 mark, given the angle.
Well, he stuck it pretty nicely. Peter Fitzgibbon walks purposefully. This is The thrust by Jennings very nearly got through. Ulster's defence really been stretched. A little offload there, and look at Cian Healy. What a mobile prop forward he is. Bustles away from 2 or 3 tackles, and eventually it was Pienaar who brought him down, and then Big Ian Henderson made the intercept. Off the top from Muller. Jackson. They need this quickly. There's men out wide if they can get it there. Cave. Little show, and away he went. Madigan has to get back. Pienaar. Williams. Good bruising run by Williams. Mustn't give it away cheaply, and he hasn't. John Afoa out wide. Makes good ground. Still there for Ulster. Tom Court gets across the 22, but good. He was a bit upright, but he's made it available. Tommy Bowe. Bowe again. Play on, says the referee. Knocked forward.
Lost forward.
Leinster scrum, time ticking away. 7.5 minutes remaining. 6 points between them, Ryan.
Yeah, it's thrilling stuff. Ulster in the right place on the pitch with possession, going through those phases. Nick Williams, you see him brushing defenders aside, trying to make that ball available for the offload, taking it to ground on that occasion. Just unfortunately going to ground, a little 2-on-1 had developed. Tommy Bowe drawing Isaac Boss's attention. And still time left. Ulster will be thinking. Tom Court has been through a savage amount of workload. He's showing the effects of the physicality of this match.
Tom Court is injured and is going off, and Callum Black has come on. I'm not sure that John Afoe will be on for much longer. Leinster bringing on a replacement. Looks like their second row forward, Quinn Rue, wearing number 19, is coming on. In place of Devin Turner. It's been a long, hard season. A lot of very, very tired men out there, but the fans will never tire of watching the men in blue or the men in white, but they'll have to hang on until next season. Devin Toller has had a terrific game. Just got a glimpse behind him of the Leinster Chief Executive, Mick Dawson, who'll be a very happy man.
Go for my touch early last time, okay?
For Leinster, it's all about possession now. They won't want to concede it. They'll go through that ball-carrying pods of 2s and 3s, just trying to maintain possession. As that clock winds down, they know what Ulster are capable of, ball in hand, and they won't want to give them that opportunity.
Callum Black straight onto the loose head side. Good scrum by Black, great squeeze. Ulster a bit slow coming off the side of the scrum. There's a bit of a slip there by Henderson. McFadden's made good ground. Boss, Healy, spilled it forward. Ulster scrum, 6.5 minutes.
That's forward.
Solid scrum from Ulster, good option taking by Leinster, but it's those small margins. Leinster would have felt in control, in possession, as we see McFadden taking the right option, coming in field, very good on his feet, recycle that possession, another forward runner. Now it's Ulster with an opportunity as the clock ticks away.
While Ulster throwing everything into attack, Michael Allen has come off his left wing. Tommy Bowe is lurking at outside centre, but it's all about this scrum.
My fault. My fault. Okay. Yes.
Leinster not in any rush to engage. They know time is on their side.
Time off.
Mark Anscombe out of his seat for the first time this game.
Time off, please.
Well, Leinster making a substitution, a replacement, I should say. Jamie Hagan, who's a London Irish bound, is coming on at tight head prop. That should be fun and games.
And Ulster will now be looking at their options from this scrum, pulling out their best strike move that they've got from the backs to see if they can make that incision. Everything hanging in the balance as we get close to the last 5 minutes.
Just a little update I'm getting on the Dylan Hartley situation. It's a minimum 6 weeks for abusing the referee, and my informant tells me that Wayne Barnes, the referee at Twickenham, had already warned Dylan Hartley about his conduct.
Okay, let's keep it steady.
So if he gets 6 weeks, there'll be no Lions tour for him, and one wonders who they might go for. Just 5 minutes remaining. A converted try would win this game for Ulster.
Touch.
It's a bit untidy.
Ball's out.
The ball is out. Ulster seem to have regained possession. It's all terribly slow, and they wanted it quicker than that. Pienaar looks to the narrow side. Michael Allen is there. Good work by Allen. Nicely set up. Afoa battled through a dodgy hamstring. Nick Williams. Can we get something special from him? Johan Muller, Ulster's captain. 50th time he's led the side since he arrived. It's a penalty. 3 points no good here, Ryan. They have to go for the corner.
No, it wasn't. It's
Not enough time to get a 3 and then a 3 to force the game into extra time. You think Ruan Pienaar's looking how deep he can kick this into opposition territory. Some discussion about going for the 3 points, but sanity prevailing with the clock ticking into the last 5 minutes.
Not a bad kick. Hasn't got deep into the 22, but it's right on the 22. There was Nick Williams. Took the tackle of McLaughlin. Muller was in there, and then Leinster, I think, off their feet. Spectacularly so by Jamie Hagan. Degree of difficulty 4.6 if he's coming off the high board. Cian Healy leaves the field, and we wish him good fortune on the Lions tour. And in comes Jack McGrath.
Move.
Started the Almond final last week. Is he going to be a double winner with Leinster? 3.5 minutes to go. Rory Best, Ulster skipper of yesteryear. They can hardly hear the line-out calls. There's such a noise at the RDS. It has been a monumental battle. Not wonderful rugby, but what a tussle. Well taken by Muller. They wanted the ball a lot quicker than that. Here's Afoa, gets it to Williams. Well defended by Leinster. Pienaar, Henderson. Pienaar again. Jackson. Jared Payne slips away. Payne still going. Great run by Payne. Can they press home this advantage? Rory Best runs into Quinn Rue. Pienaar again. Tommy Bowe. Darren Cave still there. Tackled by Jamie Heaslip. Pienaar, Jackson, Bowe. All the pressure now coming from Ulster, but can Leinster hold out? Henderson. Very tired-looking Williams. Leinster get the penalty. Henderson held on.
And that may be Ulster's last chance. Leinster now will just look to be clinical in their execution, kick the touch, line out take, recycle the ball through multiple phases, and that should be enough to wind the clock down to 80 minutes. No rush or urgency being shown expectantly from Leinster to get this ball into touch.
Just a couple of minutes remaining. Well, the Ulster fans not happy that Johnny Sexton is in no rush, but you can hardly blame him. And unless Ulster can produce something very special in the last minute and a bit, Leinster, having lost the finals in 2010 to the Ospreys, in 2011 to Munster, and last year, 2012, to the Ospreys again, are going to win their first Pro12 title.
Ulster will be looking to get men in the air. They have to compete for this one in the air and look for that turnover. They'll get their pods together and get as many as they can in the air.
Well taken by McLaughlin. Leinster, if they can, will do an up the jumper. Man of the match, scorer of the first try, Shane Jennings, has got the ball tucked in. And Leinster, if they can, will keep it there forever, or at least until the final whistle goes. Good work by Leinster again. Clever stuff. Jennings into Ruan Pienaar. Onto the ground. Madigan cleverly comes in. Has a little go himself. Into the final minute. Well laid back by the industrious McLaughlin. Madigan again. Jack McGrath. Jamie Hagan. The two replacement props. Jamie Heaslip, scorer of the second and conclusive try. 30 seconds to go. Leinster's wait for this trophy is about to end. Williams puts in a big hit on Kevin McLaughlin, but it's not enough to disrupt possession.
Watch your feet.
Isaac Boss. Ball was out. Referee says play on. 15 seconds to go. Brian O'Driscoll pops it up.
Okay.
In fact, it wasn't Brian O'Driscoll at all. It was Fergus McFadden. McFadden again. The 80 minutes have gone. Desperate times for Ulster. O'Driscoll kicks it into touch, and how fitting that Ireland's greatest player of the modern era should have the final say in this game. By no means a classic. Ulster errors cost them dear. They did come back, and at one stage were within 4 points of Leinster. But the men in blue, arguably the best side in Europe in the last half dozen years, held on, and they've deservedly won this game. And what a great send-off, not just to Johnny Sexton off to France, not just to Ethan Asewa off to retirement, but to Joe Schmidt off to, we hope, greater things with Ireland.
Yeah, Leinster deserved winners, big match temperament showing through. Joe Schmidt, no objective observer would begrudge him this double. Issei Nathiwa, he's been one of the outstanding players in a blue jersey for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Hugely popular around these parts, and a fitting send-off for him. Johnny Sexton may not be the last time he plays in his blue jersey, but certainly for the next couple of years, and Leinster will be very satisfied with the way they finished this season. For Ulster, one step too far, they'll be massively disappointed. Gave a good account of themselves, but ultimately just too much collective experience within that Leinster outfit.
Well, it was a hard game. It was a game that, from an Ulster point of view, contained far too many errors and a case of chances maybe not taken. Johan Muller, who has captained Ulster splendidly in the last couple of seasons, and today captaining him on the 50th occasion, will be bitterly disappointed. When he came from South Africa, he said that the Ulster team then were operating at about 40%. I wonder what his assessment would be now. They're still not at 100%. If they get there, they will be very, very hard to beat. But the side that's been hard to beat today, despite the efforts and despite the great support for the Ulster fans, has been Leinster. Jamie Hazlett off on his second Lions tour. Jamie Hagan off the London Irish. So 1 or 2 little defections from Leinster at the end of this season. But the men that matter will be there for some time to come, and the fans waving those blue flags will be delighted to keep supporting their Leinster side. Ulster will come again. A brand new Ravenhill is taking shape, but this is the man who's seen Leinster to 2 trophies. European glory last week and Pro12 glory this week. Joe Schmidt. Good luck with Ireland. Joe Schmidt, says everyone. Glorious day here at the RDS. Ulster certainly did their bit. Alas, the error count probably let them down. They've lost to a very good Leinster side. The full-time score, Ulster 18 and Leinster, the Pro12 champions, 24.